Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gonzo Ewok channel with me, Gonzo.
And me, Ewok.
For another episode of
Geordie Space Program. You were really relaxed going into that. Where's the excitement? Where's the passion? Where's the love?
It's here. It's getting a bit warm here in the Gonzo Ewok head shed. It's the middle of friggin' July. The sun's up. We've got a hot computer going. Got the window shut because the kids are playing outside. The blinds is down.
And the body heat of two beardy men.
Exactly. Aye. Okay then. So, end of last episode. Again, the last couple of episodes, I mean, there was some bits have happened. There's been some noteworthy moments, but generally not much has happened in the grand scheme of things.
However, but we are gradually making progress.
Yeah. We need 7 science in order to get our first tier 3 technology. So, what we're looking at doing is reiterating a little bit on the King Tut's Magic Sword, Mark II. This will be the Mark III. And in doing so, potentially getting ourselves in orbit or getting ourselves to somewhere where we can just grab a little bit of science, bring it back safely. Do you think if we put a 4th solid on here, like I'd mentioned at the end of the last one, putting a little bit more liquid in?
You think putting a bit more liquid in?
I think we've got the extra thrust there offset with those extra solids. So maybe whacking.
I think the solids might do it on their own, but you know what? If you're gonna do it, just do it. Do you want one or do you want 2?
I would take 2. So we've got 800 units of liquid fuel there.
Now that means it's quite tall.
Yeah, this is true.
But it's only this bit that's coming back, so the tallness doesn't matter so much.
It means it'll be a bit wobbly. Now, are you okay with just the basic fins, or do you want to take?
I want the basic fins on the top and the Delta Deluxe on the bottom. Okay. Because I don't want too much lift and control on the top.
Early stages, there's a chance you'll flip.
There's a chance I'll flip, exactly.
Okay, then, cool.
So we'll take Valentina again.
Well, we'll have to, unless I can't imagine we would, but we don't have any new.
I feel like we're being quite sexist, making the only female pilot the one who does all the dangerous missions.
Well, I'll pop that bubble for you. The reason I suggested Valentina was she had no experience, but now she's got as much as Jeb.
Well, the reason I was saying Valentina is because Jeb's been there since the very beginning. He's very much the face of Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, the pretty
and
boy.
Geordie Space Program too. And we didn't do the flag like we said we were going to do.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I thought we were going to stop recording at the end of the last episode, but should point out the last 2 episodes and this one have all been recorded at the same time.
We are well over our part count. That's one of the things that's limiting us. That's why we've been doing relatively modest rockets.
Bollocks. So we need to lose 7 parts. What can we lose?
Well, we're going to lose 4 there.
How many parachutes do you think we need?
You know what? This is about EVA reports. So I think we can lose all of the sciencey stuff because we've got the science from up there that we need.
I'd just like to point out, don't adjust your volume. That's Ewok talking like a freak.
We do need some batteries. Batteries are important. I'll just stick them on the outside.
Sure, that's going to block the hatch if you do that. Do you think we have got enough of a part count where we can put a service bay in for some batteries?
We can put one service bay.
It seems crazy not to take a service bay. Aye.
Good point. So we'll put one service bay in and a couple of batteries.
Yeah, we've got 6 parts. We can put a couple of batteries. We can even bring some goo if you want.
No, we'll just put the 2 batteries in and then we'll use them to get the fins back.
All right. Okay. Then, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Close that up. Batteries are now included.
Where's my aerodynamics? Where's my basic fins?
There we are.
And this is the Magic Sword Mark III.
Nice. I hope it works.
I hope it works too. We'll have shed some weight throwing that science equipment away as well. Let's get that clipping a little bit less. I need to reset the rerouter. Actually, that's not connected, is it? Oh, it is connected. It's just gone a bit transparently. I don't like the way it looks like it's floating slightly.
Well, it's because you've got that rounded effect on the bottom of the capsule.
Solid. Shall we just go for it as it is?
Yeah, generally you find that the capsules are attached to decouplers.
Caution, parachutes on engine. When we moved around it kajiggered with the stage in there.
Oh, that's far from ideal. I think we have done that before, where we fired off the parachutes with a discarded stage. Pretty sure we have done that before.
I'm just double checking the staging now to make sure we've got it all right now, which I think we do.
It's alright, I'm just topping up the electric fag. This is interesting. I'm now drinking, actually, a couple of episodes ago I mentioned that my wife and daughter for Father's Day getting us one of these subscription beers through the post, so I was drinking Jacob's Ladder. I'm now drinking Evil Twins Bikini Beer. I'm still smoking the bourbon flavoured electronic cigarette liquid though, which is very nice, but it's like kind of having a whiskey chaser with your beer, but a smoked one, which is quite nice. But you know me, actually you had a house party when we were teenagers and I drank a load of whiskey.
And then got quite ill.
Yeah, I vomited all over the place quite badly. But yeah, so I've always had a slight aversion to whiskey.
I'm just going to launch this.
But
you keep going.
There's not really much else to say. Just you had that house party. I think it was that was Bell's or something horrendous that I was drinking at the time.
Yeah, back when we were young and I didn't have any money, I used to drink Bell's whiskey.
Aye, you get a quarter bottle of Bell's and some Cherryade, mix it up, knock it
Cherryade.
back. Yeah.
Now I'm known for my bizarre rum cocktails, but not my whiskey cocktails.
Yeah, Bell's whiskey and Cherryade.
My rum cocktails are legendary. Chirumto is one of my favourites.
Chirumto's a good drink.
That's rum and cherry Vimto.
Yep, that's good. Well, back in the day, a classic 70s drink was rum and blackcurrant. Which is actually quite nice, and I imagine you'd get a similar kind of thing going on with the old Chirumto as well.
I think the weight of this is more than offsetting the lift that we were getting, to be honest with you, pal.
We're hurtling. Oh, that's
a
clean separation.
They didn't blow up this time?
That's nice.
Okay, so we're going to need to get a little bit more height.
We're quite warm. It's unusual for it to get warm on the way up.
That's why I put the heat shield on the front panel. This is one of these days. I'm going to sit down and actually develop us a sensible rocket that doesn't require it. But part of the reason we do this brute force is that we only record 20-minute episodes, and I don't want
give or take, yeah.
And I don't want 15 minutes of every episode to be the launch, where we do things properly and we go up at a reasonable speed.
Well, you see, this is us listening to viewer feedback, because generally, when we're doing those kind of episodes, the way we used to do it, hour and a half long sometimes, and it was very slow, so you have to go off topic a lot. I know I've just talked about whiskey and cocktails and, drinking exploits from my youth, but, we'll cut down on those amounts of bits where you go off on tangents quite a bit, because generally I find that viewer response is that they don't like it. They like when they talk about the game. People watch it so they can see the game and see it being played, and to hear people talk about the game. Apparently it's this thing called a Let's Play, where you talk about a game and you play a game, and then people watch you talking about playing the game, and they don't like it when you're making references to a very small town in Northumberland that they've never heard of, about things that they've never came across before. That in itself is a tangent.
It is, yeah.
How crazy is that?
I can't think of many things that I haven't came across, to be honest.
Oh dear. Yeah, well, I mean, people love the sex jokes and the dick jokes. Keep them in.
What are you on about? Sex jokes, dick jokes?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, of course not. No. So we've got quite a bit of fuel here. I'm liking this.
Yeah, it's looking very canny.
I don't know if we're going to get orbit, mind.
Yeah, of course we are. That's going to pop out.
Are we going to get orbit and have enough to come back though? Because there's not a chance in hell we can do a rescue mission. We haven't even got manoeuvre nodes. We can barely get in orbit.
There you go. We're in orbit. Look at that. We've got loads of fuel. We could do a month flyby with that amount of fuel.
Don't get any ideas above your station. Get with the crew reports, do the sciencey bits, the EVAs, and then get with Daffo home.
Well, we need to be above land, so we're above land now. EVA report 1. 8 science.
Oosh! If we bring this back, that's some parts. Don't let go. Don't let go.
I wish the ship wasn't spinning around now as I try and get back into it. Okay. We may have a problem with the ship.
This happened when we were in the water at the end of last episode. The ship's pinging off. That's not fair. Right. Concentrate. Ewok, don't burn through your fuel. We're going to need it.
How the hell am I going to get in this bloody ship?
Just need to angle her in.
It's really dark as well. I can barely see.
I'll tell you what, I've got like a high contrast mode on my monitor.
Oh, that's better. Thank you, Paul.
Aye, pop that on. It made no difference whatsoever to the video. So you guys will not see a difference, but now we can actually see a bit better what's going on with the... it's like a gaming mode on my monitor, so you get like a better contrast and what have you. She's on! Get her in! Whew. This is going to be dangerous. Don't ever let go, and be very careful about how you get out. Maybe put the stability on to try and hold the rocket still.
Yeah, the stability turns off when the pilot gets out.
I know, but at least if it's gone from like a still position to starting to move, it'll have to build up a bit of momentum.
Not a crew report, an EVA report.
Got that one.
Yeah, it's just it's difficult for me to see what we're actually over at the minute.
No, this is fine
because of the dark. And I think
Stage
if we
one
come
is
over
going well.
Here,
Aye, that looks like some good shit. I mean, it still looks like grass, but it might be a different kind of grass that we haven't came across before.
Where's the sun? It's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, there's the moon. Hello, moon. And we're twirling.
I just want to get a bit of a better angle in case I have to do the whole fly back in thing. There we go. Highlands.
Oh, this is going quite well. Sign scumming like semi-professionals.
Try here. I think there may be some mountains down there.
I've got a good feeling about that bit.
Oh no, that's the Highlands again.
I know the Badlands is... I think there's a biome of Badlands around here, but, you know, we're just completely reliant on the orbit taking over them. The trajectory we've got.
You
Get
go
that out of the
away.
way. Aye.
Grasslands. Got that one. Now that's definitely some mountains down there, but I'm not sure we're close enough to them. Grasslands again. Don't worry, we'll be able to see what we're doing when we get over to the light side.
Aye. They look like mountains. Will they count? Might count.
We'll sharp find out.
Going right over them. Nice.
Oh, that's a nice view, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mountains!
Okay. Can we do a crew report over the mountains? We haven't got one of them.
The crew report isn't that situational. It's just going to be
Oh, like high over
in
curving.
space.
Oh well. Sorry.
Now we're getting the views.
Aye, look, desert. We haven't seen it in a while. Can you remember way back in maybe the first or the second series where we dismounted somebody from a rocket that climbed out to go and collect a sample and hit the ground at like 500 meters a second?
Yes, that was in the desert.
Aye, that was a good one. I remember the little plume of sand coming up.
That's because we were in time warp mode and it did not like it.
It did not like the fact that somebody had left the rocket when time acceleration was turned on. Still deserts.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else we're going to get here.
You know what?
We've had shores. I think we've had above water. But let's try it again.
If we do another pass around, we can try and touch down in the desert, because then we can get a thing from landed at the desert. I haven't had that before. It's quite a nice flat area.
The landing will be a bit of guesswork.
Yeah, I know, but if we try and aim for it, that would be good. And if we get it, great. And if we don't, well, we don't.
I think we've got more or less everything we're going to get up here.
Yeah, by the looks of it. I'd maybe sort of get myself back around. You've let go. You've let go.
I didn't let go. She let go. She just couldn't hold on any longer. She's very tired.
This is ridiculous. Lots of
it's got away.
Lots of finger clacking going on. I hope you've got enough petrol in your jetpack for this.
Oh, you get loads, mate. Trust us, I want to push the rocket back. When I had a disastrous attempt to return from the moon. Useless.
Just bring up your fuel supply for us, please. Oh, that's okay. She's not even used 20%. It's okay. Just chasing the rocket round. There, get in. Don't let go. Get in.
Right, let's just bring this thing back.
Every time that happens, it puts me heart in my mouth. So I'm reckoning go to well, if you go to Apoapsis and bring it down anyway, try and aim roughly for the desert. Gotta be worth it.
Give it a whirl, pal, for you.
If we bring ourselves down, that'd be quite nice. I'd say what resources we've got there. It's not listing fuel amongst them. That's a concern.
That is a concern. I mean, we have fuel.
We do. We can see it.
It is burning.
It's a bit odd. Alright. One of them quirks, I suppose. Good job we're not relying on pinpoint timing here.
So I'm going to bring that down to about 30 there. I think I might overshoot and go in the ocean, actually.
You know what? Give it a bang. I'd rather we come down nice and gentle. I've got quite a bit of science on board here. I know it's in the capsule, but we don't want to lose Valentina and that science, because there's a good chunk there, probably getting about, I think, 32 to 40 science, I think, for them reports.
Yeah, something around that.
Aye. Maybe 24. How many did we get? 3 or 4 of them. 8 a pop. That was good. I liked it.
I've got heat shield on the top and the bottom.
Quite well protected.
Overkill.
Yeah.
Right, and now it's just a case of bringing it in. This is going to be quite a slow re-entry because we're coming in at a shallow angle. But it should be a safe re-entry.
It's like the end of Moonraker all over again.
I forget Moonraker. Is that the one with Jaws?
What on earth is he doing? It's one of the ones with Jaws.
Was it the first one with Jaws?
No, first one with Jaws is...
But it's got the space station, and it's
The Spy Who Loved Me. It's the first one with Jaws.
So Moonraker, it's got the space station. Is it a Connery or a Moore?
It's a Moore.
It's a Moore.
The best of the Bonds.
I prefer Connery.
Yeah, most people do.
Not that I'm a huge Bond lover, as you can tell by the fact that I'm struggling to remember which one
Moonraker is.
Moonraker
My wife and all of our family are obsessed with them. And I'm obsessed with Bond purely because of that one scene in the second series of Alan Partridge where he reenacts the start of The Spy Who Loved Me.
But he's got the drill.
Yeah, I don't know, he doesn't have a drill.
Oh no, is he just doing the hand
around?
thing?
Yeah, he's just doing the hand fingers.
I'm sure at one point he's got the drill.
He's destroying his cereals.
No, but I'm sure at one point he's pretending the drill's a gun. I'm positive.
But in any event, that's where my love of Bond comes from, purely from that one bit of Alan Partridge. But because my wife and our family love it, I watch quite a bit of them. It's The Spy Who Loved Me is where Jaws comes in. Jaws is in Moonraker, but at the end of Moonraker, once
is Moonraker the one where he's got the girlfriend, the pigtails and the braces?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they have a little glass of champagne as everything's exploding. Here's to us. And he actually talks. That was Jaws.
Yeah.
But at the end of Moonraker, anyway, George. I was going to say George Bush. There, Jesus, James Bond even is
not to be confused.
Yeah.
Former US President George Bush. Which one?
Yeah.
Which one is not to be confused with James Bond?
It would probably be the first one.
I think probably neither of them should be confused with James Bond personally.
No, but he says, "What's he do? What's he doing? Because he's in the escape pod with a girl and he's necking with her, as he does.
Dirty
dog. We've built this up so much and it's shit. Everybody's seen it anyway. But then he goes, "What's he doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I think he's attempting re-entry." that's a pretty good double entendre for a Bond film.
That's a good one.
I think he's attempting re-entry.
I'm remembering this more and more as we're talking about it, because the parachute's covering the hatch and he lifts the parachute up, and then he looks through the hatch window.
Looks through the porthole.
And then whoa! I bet Bond was looking through the porthole as well.
It was knee deep in it, son. But it's a pretty shit Bond, really. But I quite like it. It's got some good lines in.
I seem to remember when like there's all the shit going off in the space station. It's very low budget, very sort of tin foil blowing up.
Yeah, that's
everything covered in tin foil or aluminium foil for anyone watching in America.
You've got people wearing like sort of lemon coloured jumpsuits, and then you've got people wearing sort of aqua coloured jumpsuits, and they're shooting lasers at each other. Although you've got to admit, on N64's GoldenEye, the Moonraker gun was pretty amazing.
The lasers were cool, yeah. And you could draw things on the wall with the gun.
Usually penises and smiley faces.
Well, you couldn't do much more than that. You could try and write your name on the wall, but it would start. The initial bits would start disappearing.
Only so many sprites. What a game!
What a game! That and Perfect Dark, good times.
Aye.
They're no Kerbal Space Program though. I'll tell you what you can't do in GoldenEye is pilot a ship with a green Kerman character.
You can attempt re-entry though.
You can attempt re-entry.
Which is, strange enough, right on cue, what we're trying to do now, with, just as the heat starts.
Xena...
On a top.
Yeah.
With crunchy thighs.
And Natalia... something or other.
Yeah, the goodie. Yeah. Everybody liked Xena on a top though.
Yeah, she had crunchy thighs.
Crunchy thighs, aye.
I bet if she liked you, she could do some amazing things with those crunchy thighs.
Definitely, aye.
Pop a few watermelons with them.
Right. There'd be no attempt to re-entry with her. She'd just kill you. Crack your skull like a peanut. Okay. Then.
If you're lucky, it would be a skull, yeah.
Okay, then. So, slightly distracted. This is again coming from the well, you know, when we do these 20-minute episodes, we don't talk half as much bullshit. I prefer.
At least we're on wider cultural references than things we did in Ashington when we were younger. People have played GoldenEye, people have watched Moonraker, and people have fantasised about Xena on the top and crunchy thighs.
You know, if we were still naming episodes after random shit that was said in the episodes,
this one would be Xena on the top's crunchy thighs. Yeah.
If we build a decent-sized rocket that's comprising of 2 sort of main channels,
they can be the crunchy thighs.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Yeah, most definitely.
Well, that's something to aspire towards. It's good to have goals. We've gone from collecting science and making money to coming up with ridiculous names for spaceships based on prepubescent sexual fantasies.
Well, in the interests of gender equality, we name most of our rockets after penises, so why not name them after a lady's legs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all about gender equality here on the Gonzo Ego channel, which is why we put Valentina Kerman in all our dangerous experimental rockets. Because she should have the glory.
Exactly, it's a show of trust in our ability. So
we are way short of the desert here.
It happens. We're not very good at picking our landing spots anyway.
Oh, we'll get there again. We used to be better than we are. In almost every aspect of this game, we did used to be better than we are now.
It's very
You get
true.
rusty over time. Just like NASA wouldn't trust somebody who'd been retired for 40 years and hadn't had anything to do with the program to be in charge of their next space mission.
It's very true. You put them out of pasture. But I am noticing that actually the rocket's not overheating. We don't have any kind of issues here.
Yeah, but we're not really slowing down that drastically at the moment because we are still relatively thin. We are in relatively thin.
Yeah, but
atmosphere.
that's fine because we're coming down nice and gentle.
Mm-hmm. It is fine, and we're going to make a splash.
Yeah, that's okay.
Everything will be okay. Now, should I get Valentina to leave the rocket at this stage?
No.
And maybe get a crew, get a Navy air report?
1,000% no, because she needs to deploy the parachutes.
We could deploy the parachutes now.
No, we shouldn't.
Would that be a bad idea? I think
bottom left.
I think for
parachutes are bright red. Don't touch them.
I think for future rocket designs, when we've got the ability to add a few more components, so we can afford to add a little bit extra, maybe having a reserve emergency parachute stages. Because I've killed a lot of people by accidentally deploying the parachutes too early.
There's a way of locking stages, though, isn't there?
Yeah, you press Control L or something like that. But the problem is, if you forget to unlock them, and then you've got split second with which to release the parachute. Like the Halo landing we did in an earlier episode.
That was amazing, though. Even random people on Twitter were like, that was pretty impressive.
That was
I put a timestamp on the video and just put it up and said, you probably haven't heard of it, but you should see this landing. And we did have a few comments anyway on Twitter going, yeah, that was pretty spectacular.
If you shoot enough rockets into space, sooner or later you'll do something good.
It's a good philosophy.
It's not NASA's philosophy, I have to say.
No. It would be probably quite politically unpopular, that kind of philosophy. If Stalin was still around and actively involved in the space station, it's probably what we'd get. So, what I'm thinking is, the science we're going to get with this, all being well, is going to unlock some parts. Sort of, the tier 3 parts getting slightly nicer gear. But we need cash because what we've just established at the start of this one is we need the vehicle assembly building beefed up. And that's going to be expensive. We've got about 150, I think.
But now
grand in the
we've
bank.
maintained a stable orbit and come back. We might start getting some contract about going into
in
orbit.
yeah.
And
We need to maybe next episode we need to look at taking a few decent contracts and getting them done, getting some cash in the bank,
get that
upgrade vehicle
upgraded,
assembly.
and then that's going to open a whole bunch of doors to us. That and maneuver nodes. Obviously, the maneuver nodes are less important at this point because we don't have the rocket capability to really go very far.
Yeah, to actually go far enough to necessitate.
Get that next, which I believe is quite an expensive one.
I think it's about 400 odd grand.
No overheating whatsoever there.
No, it was fine. Absolutely perfect. Hardly used any ablator either.
So yeah, we'll get that done next, and then the maneuver nodes, and then once we've done that, we're into sort of lunar territory, or Munar territory.
Aye.
In the Kerbal Space Program world.
You know what? It'd be nice. It's been ages since we've seen the moon. Up close and personal. I'm looking forward to that.
It has, but as the saying goes, we've had an orbit before with a probe, and it wasn't a great orbit. But this was a relatively stable orbit with fuel left over, and what they say in Kerbal Space Program, getting into orbit, you're halfway to anywhere.
Yeah. I think that's bollocks myself. You're not halfway to Elu. You lose friggin' miles away. Must be like 1,000 miles away or something.
But we've done Eve, we've done Juna, went to Moho once, didn't we?
We got very close to it. We flew by it at speed, very close.
Just shaved past it.
That was the end of the previous series to 1.0 coming out. Yeah, that was. I've never been to Moho. Literally in this series, we've done all the things I've done. I've built a small base on Juna and a small one on Eve, and one of the earlier incarnations of the game.
I've landed on Moho once.
I know.
Yeah, I've landed on. I think I've got a screenshot of it.
There's the
on my
Moho.
Steam account. Yeah, I wasn't anywhere near the Moho.
Yeah. There's a big hole on Moho.
I didn't land with any degree of accuracy, and I certainly didn't have enough fuel to get.
It's by all accounts a tricky one to get to. Moho. But in any event, it's all stuff to come to. We will get there at some point, even if this series, it might take 5 years, but we will get there eventually.
33.7 science. We're at 117. So before we run this episode off,
hey,
level 1. Before we run this episode off, let's make a call on what we're going to buy with it. I vote we skip aviation for now.
We don't need those
Something
bits
to come back to.
right now.
So we've got heavy rocketry, which gives us big engines, not too much use.
Skip a poodle. It does give
us
nice,
the nice solid fuel boosters. Propulsion systems, good for probes, not for much else. Fuel systems, now that gives us bigger fuel tanks, which aren't particularly useful without the bigger engines, so that's a jewel. But it does give us a large FLT 800 fuel tank and the external fuel ducts,
which would be handy.
They are useful for asparagus stage and some more complex rocket designs.
Yeah, asparagus staging doesn't really have the same kind of OP-ness that it did in OP-ness. The fuel ducts in asparagus station aren't quite as overpowered as they were in the game when it was still in development, just because of the changes to the aerodynamics engine. But it is still a nice thing to have.
It's a nice to have.
Aye.
Yeah. We've got advanced construction. It gets us fairing. You love your fairings.
I do love a fairing.
It gets us the bigger detachment manifolds and the ones that stick further out, which is useful to prevent the explosion things.
That would be good. Yeah, I mean, everybody loves an explosion, but
the Roxor Max brand adapter, not a big deal at the minute because we don't have the larger parts. But the tri-stack coupler could be quite useful for some designs.
Yeah, we could do some landers with that potentially, and we can just make bigger and beefier rockets.
Bigger and beefier rockets, so that's a possibility. I'm liking the look of that.
Yeah, I think it's got wings, so to speak.
We can skip the basic aerodynamics and go for some more advanced aerodynamics. So we've got the inline cockpit. We've got some circular intake, some nose cones.
Getting towards more.
The Weasley engine.
A bit more jetty. I'm not really feeling it.
Landing gear.
I do want legs because I haven't been able to say my catchphrase yet.
Well,
actually, new viewers will not even know that I've got a catchphrase.
We've got landing struts there and a bigger heat shield. Launch escape system. That doesn't really have much of a
I've only ever used that for a laugh.
And the large parachute. Some good stuff there, but still not leaning towards it. Now advanced flight control. This is interesting. Monoprop. Monoprop's good. An advanced inline stabilizer to help with our spinny wispinny.
Better probe core.
It's a lander cam. So that's interesting for the monoprop. Could help with control.
Yeah.
Space exploration, hitchhiker storage container, a barometer, another way to get science.
Yeah.
And ladders.
It's always worth investing in your science getting technology earlier.
Miniaturization gives us small docking ports, small adapters.
Nah.
We'll skip that. Oh, although it does. Oh no, that's a stack separator. And electrics. Better probe core, and that's a decent probe core. That potentially means we can have stability and take a scientist instead of a pilot, or an engineer instead of a pilot.
Yeah.
Solar panels.
Always nice to have.
For longer missions, and radiators and lights.
Inline batteries as well, I think, is there.
Inline batteries, yeah. You've got the rechargeable battery bank. Nice beefy battery, and it fits in service base quite nicely.
Yeah, and stack them up.
Right, I say either electrics for the panels and the octo core. That could potentially give us some nice satellites that we could get further out of Kerbin. Maybe get some
potentially the odd flyby.
I'm thinking contracts with that actually, because you get a lot of satellite-based contracts, and if we start getting satellite contracts, sticking that on with a small fuel tank, I reckon we could manage to get some decent satellite contracts with that.
Yeah, that's definitely a go.
All the advanced construction for the fairings, the better side-mounted decouplers, and the tri-coupler. So I've narrowed it down to 2. I'm going to leave the final decision with you, pal.
It's so difficult. I mean, personally, I'm thinking that tri-coupler that you're hovering over at the minute will be handy, because it lets us build bigger rockets that are still aerodynamically sustainable.
But we currently can't build bigger rockets.
Yeah, this is true. With that in mind, we should go for electrics.
Go for electrics.
Because we can build small, cheap, nasty satellites, bang them up, get contracts, get cash, get science. What's not love about that? Bang.
Bang. It is done.
Cool. Okay then. So, you know what's probably coming up in the next episode? We're going to be looking for some contracts, getting some of that dollar. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Cheers all, goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching this episode of Geordie Space Program. If you would like to watch some Prison Architect, you can click to your left.
If you'd like to watch one of our podcasts, or listen to it, click on the right.
And of course, if you haven't already, we always appreciate it when people subscribe. Thanks again, and bye-bye.